My senior sister wanted to skin the spirit beast, but I saved it and took it as my disciple. When I ascended to immortality, he led demon cultivators to massacre the sect. I failed my tribulation, and he extracted my immortal bones. Still not satisfied, he left my corpse exposed outside the sect's main hall. Your self-indulgent feelings separated me from our master, causing her to fall into demonhood. This is what you owe her. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn on the day my senior sister harmed him. This time, I chose to stand by and watch coldly. Main text. Junior sister, do you like this welcome banquet I've prepared for you? Du-Jie looked down at me from a height, her eyes full of disdain. In my past life, I must have been truly blind to think that someone like Du-Jie shared any sense of camaraderie with me as a fellow disciple. I concealed my emotions and looked at her with a delighted expression. Thank you, senior sister. I really like it. Sister, don't rush to thank me. I still have a special performance to give you. I hope you'll like it. Du-Jie clapped her hands, and a newly transformed spirit she had acquired just 2 days ago was dragged to the center of the stage by the servants. He was a spirit who had just taken human form, named Ding Wei, with very weak magical power and still retaining some of the habits of a primitive spirit. This transformed spirit is really ugly. Ding Wei's appearance immediately sparked heated discussions among the crowd. I heard he just recently transformed. His mother, having listened to too many romance novels, found a stupid bear spirit as a husband. After giving birth to him, she came to her senses and simply abandoned them and ran off. Even a transformed bear spirit isn't this ugly. How can he be so hideous? He's a mixed blood. Who knows? In the previous life, when these people started gossiping about Ding Wei, I, with a kind heart, interrupted their venomous words, so he naturally never heard those vile remarks. By defending him, I incurred their resentment. A newly transformed spirit like Ding Wei, being the lowest existence in the cultivation world, could be bullied at will, and for the sake of a lowly spirit, I made these people lose face. They thought I was making a mountain out of a molehill, putting on airs to belittle them. Those who appear at this welcome banquet are all second-generation cultivators of the sect. Offending them means offending the forces behind them. Later, because I saved Ding Wei and took him as my disciple, I was burdened with the stigma of being infatuated with a low-level shape-shifting spirit. My master hated me for being unambitious and severed the master-disciple relationship with me. My senior brothers thought I was debasing myself, tarnishing the sect's reputation, and hated me to the bone. When I was driven to the outer sect and worried daily about resources, Du-Jie drugged me, forcing me to engage in intimate relations with Ding Weixing. This nailed me firmly to the pillar of shame. I was originally a homeless beggar, living in a dilapidated temple on the eastern outskirts of Lianzhou City before the age of 10, surviving each day by begging. Yet, despite my cautious existence, heaven showed me no mercy. Instead, I encountered a hypocritical sixth prince. I, who knew nothing, merely went to the charity porridge stall to beg for a bowl of hot porridge, and in the eyes of the noble, I became an eyesore, a loathsome pest. The hot porridge never reached my stomach. It was all poured onto my face instead. Yet the noble refused to lift a hand to spare my life, and I was beaten half to death by the noble's underlings. On the brink of death, I encountered my master, who saved me. I was brought to the sect and became the youngest disciple. Senior sister Du-Jie looked down on me for being a beggar. It's all because of you, this filthy beggar, dragging down our status and making us look bad. They all mock us, we don't, you just die. Du-Jie was the master's most favored disciple and the senior brother's most beloved junior sister, so I could only be the one to suffer. I am grateful to my master for saving me, and I endured it all, allowing them to take away the resources that belonged to me time and time again, giving them to their most beloved disciples and junior sisters. When Ding Wei was suffering, I only saw that he and I shared a similar plight, and I couldn't bear to watch him be tortured to death by Du-Jie, so I saved him from that misery. But after I showed compassion, it did not bear good fruit. After that incident, my master and senior brothers all wanted to strip me of my cultivation and throw me out of the sect. leaving me to fend for myself. The sect leader couldn't bear to destroy my immortal bones. So he let the mistake stand and simply arranged for me to hold a Dao companion ceremony with Ding Wei. Although rumors spread within the sect, in the cultivation world, what matters most is one's cultivation level, not one's character. I endured these rumors, protected Ding Wei, and climbed upward step by step. When I ascended to immortality, he instead summoned demon cultivators to massacre my fellow disciples. I failed my tribulation, and he ripped out my immortal bones, still unsatisfied. He left my corpse exposed outside the sect's main hall, foolishly trying to come between me and my master, causing her to fall into demonhood. This is what you owe her. Only on that day did I realize that Ding Wei had fallen in love with Du Jie the moment she brought him back to the sect. Du Jie bullied and humiliated him. Yet he took it all willingly in his heart. He hated me for causing his separation from Du Jie, blaming me entirely for her fall into demonhood. When I was ascending, he struck me from the shadows, causing my tribulation to fail. I should have known long ago. When we were forced to engage in intimacy, the name he whispered was Jie, not my Union Z, on the day of our Taoist partner ceremony. The wedding robe he made with his own hands was never meant for me. Junior sister, does this spirit's cry sound pleasing to your ears? Du Jie used a small knife to slice off Ding Wei's rough ears, looking at me with smug satisfaction. In my past life, I never understood why Du Jie always tormented the spirits she captured in front of me. It wasn't until the day she fell into demonhood, pointing at me and cursing, that I finally realized where her hatred for me came from. Yun Yanyi, you're just a transformed spirit creature. What gives you the right to outshine me in everything? I once accidentally consumed a pill, which caused me to transform into a white-furred fox. Du Jie then assumed that I, too, was a transformed spirit creature. She couldn't accept that her natural talent was inferior to that of a transformed spirit creature. Her hatred had no outlet, so she sought to ease her own pain by torturing and killing my kind. In the previous life, when she tortured and killed Ding Wei, my desperate defense of him in her eyes became an admission of my own identity. In this life, I won't meddle anymore. Sister, it seems he hates you. When I met Ding Wei's hateful gaze, I sensed that this ungrateful wretch had likely also been reborn. He wasn't hating Du Jie. He was still hating me, but Du Jie didn't care who he was hating. All little spirits should look at me like this. Ha ha ha. I want this eye. With a swift motion of the hand, the small knife plunged into Ding Wei's left eye. Ding Wei's screams caused the young acolyte following behind me to turn pale. He's so pitiful. Please save him. This young acolyte is a transformed spirit I picked up. His immortal bones are mediocre. So I had him follow me as an acolyte, but my kindness became the reason for his betrayal. He resented his identity as a Taoist boy, believing that I had hindered his path to immortality. After learning about Ding Wei's plan, he did not inform me but instead colluded with Ding Wei, scheming against me together. After my death, it was also his idea to leave my body exposed. There is a reason to hate those who are pitiable. Just because I find him pitiable, should I save him? There are so many pitiful people in the world, can I save them all? Ding Wei, that ungrateful wretch, even poisoned his own father to death just so he could return to the sect with Du Jie. Whoever is kind to him, he harms. He is born with a servile nature. The more Du Jie beats him, the more he loves her. He longs so desperately to stay by Du Jie's side. So naturally, I will grant his wish. One is willing to strike, the other is willing to endure. What a beautiful love story. As for the little Taoist boy Qianyi, I no longer want him either. Senior sister, I know you love collecting transformed spirits the most. I'm giving Qianyi to you as well, hoping you have fun with him. Du Jie had asked me for Qianyi before, and knowing her cruel methods, I naturally wouldn't let Qianyi suffer under her. But Qianyi actually blamed me for it instead, thinking that I had caused him to miss out on a good opportunity, because my master doesn't care for me and my senior brothers don't like me. The resources I get are pitifully few, but Du Jie is different. Her master dotes on her. Her senior brothers adore her whatever she wants. She doesn't even have to ask. Someone will deliver it to her hands, out of consideration for our sex bonds. I didn't tell Qianyi about Du Ye's cruel slaughter of the transformed spirit beast, only advising him to stay away from her. My sudden change of heart now caught Du Ye off guard. Wasn't your junior female apprentice always most protective of this little Taoist boy? I asked you for him several times, but you refused to give him to me. Now, why are you willing to part with him? Whether I'm willing or not doesn't really matter. Who can blame him for longing day and night to serve you? Senior sister, I wouldn't want to force him to stay by my side. Upon hearing that I was willing to let him go, Qianyi, disregarding the occasion, hurried forward and knelt at Du Ye's feet. Qianyi is willing to serve at your side for the rest of his life. Perhaps Qianyi's obsequious demeanor pleased Du Ye. So she decided to keep him right there. I accept. Now go cut 300 slashes on his body. Don't let him die. I still want to have some fun slowly. Yes. Just moments ago, he was standing beside me, showing kindness to Ding Wei. But now that his position has changed, Qianyi's kindness has vanished. Qianyi, eager to curry favor with his new master Du Ye, completely forgot that the shape-shifting spirit before him was his own kind. He pulled out the small knife stuck in Ding Wei's eye and began to slowly torture him. At first, the second-generation cultivators at the welcome banquet could still derive a bit of amusement from Ding Wei's screams. But as the screams grew louder and louder, everyone found it unsettling and could no longer feel any enjoyment. The second-generation cultivators were nothing but idle rich kids who only knew how to eat, drink, and have fun. Their temperaments were indeed a bit nasty, and they liked to bully others. But that was already the limit for most of them. If you actually asked them to torture and kill someone or a transformed spirit beast, very few would actually enjoy it. Halfway through the skinning performance, the crowd had already scattered. I stayed until the end, enjoying a meal while watching Qianyi peel the flesh off Ding Wei's body. This kind of dog-eat-dog drama is my favorite to watch. I am happy, but Du Dai is still unhappy. Qianyi, my junior sister hasn't had enough fun yet. Add another 100 cuts. Ding Wei, who had just woken up in pain, was so frightened by these words that he fainted on the spot. Sister, this transformed spirit of yours isn't up to par. It couldn't even last this short while. How disappointing. Du Ye could not stand hearing the word no. Especially when it came from Might was something she simply couldn't accept. Junior sister, don't be so impatient. The show isn't over yet. Du Ye refused to let him off, and I was more than happy to watch Ding Wei suffer. Ding Wei wouldn't resent Du Ye for her cruelty. He would only hate Qianyi. When you love someone, you romanticize all their actions. Thanks to the elixir given by Du Ye, Ding Wei remained conscious throughout the entire process. This must be the love Ding Wei was looking for. Heh, I don't get it, but I respect it. After fully watching the performance, I gave an insincere review. Senior sister, how can you take pleasure in tormenting transformed spirits? Although they were not originally human, they were still born and raised by parents. They can feel pain too. I will report this to the master truthfully. The more distressed I appear, the more often such a good show will be staged. Du Ye wore a smug smile on her face. A lowly shape-shifting spirit. Even if I killed him right now, Master would only be angry. By the way, junior sister, did you get the spiritual herbs Master asked you to bring back? The secret realm has a restriction. Only those at the golden core stage can enter. I'm still far from that. In my past life, to avoid disappointing Master, I forcibly raised my cultivation using forbidden arts and obtained the spiritual herbs Master wanted. But the spirit herb was used on the senior sister who hated me the most. Because of Ding Wei, I argued a few words with my senior sister and was punished by our master to face the wall in the ice cave. Forcibly using forbidden techniques to enhance my cultivation had already damaged my foundation, and spending a year in the ice cave only made things worse, so much so that later, at the end of every month, I would suffer the torment of cold poison. When Du Ye heard that I hadn't obtained the spirit herb, her face turned extremely grim. Yun Yenny, are you ignoring Master's words? Do you have any idea how important the spirit herbs are to me? Of course I know. relying on her master's favor and the indulgence of her senior brothers. Dai always cut corners in her cultivation, relying entirely on resources to build up her strength. But a cultivation built on pills and elixirs inevitably suffers from the affliction of pill toxins. The spiritual herb my master sent me to retrieve was meant to dissolve the pill poison in Dai's body. The one most anxious about my failure was Dai herself. Senior sister, master said that spiritual herb is for making a breakthrough pill to help me advance to the golden core stage sooner. What does it have to do with you? I asked, feigning ignorance. Dai had a bitter tale to tell. Her heart filled with resentment, and Dingwei became her punching bag. Damn it! Even a single glance at him as an eyesore. Dai kicked Dingwei, sending him flying backward, crashing heavily against the wall, already half dead from the torment. This kick might truly be the end of him, but I won't let him die so easily. The more Dai loathes him, the more I want him to live. Sister, he's already so pitiful, and you still won't let him go. How can you be so heartless? I hurriedly checked on Dingwei's condition and casually fed him a low-grade healing pill. I want Dingwei to live. But I won't let him live well. Just use a low-grade pill with the most poison to keep him barely alive. When I left, Dingwei had regained consciousness. He felt no gratitude toward me, his savior. At all his eyes were full of disgust. Fortunately, in this life, I am not truly meant to save him. Dingwei, your good days are coming. The master's punishment, though delayed, will not be avoided. The next day, I was sent to the ice cave to reflect on my mistakes for some fabricated faults. Punishments like this, without any reason, were not the first time. In my previous life, I was often punished for displeasing Dai. My only use was to find resources for Dai. Mindful of my master's life-saving grace, I endured and yielded time and time again, but my concessions did not earn me their restraint. Instead, they intensified their exploitation of my worth. To them, I was nothing more than an obedient tool. In my past life, I had already sacrificed my life to repay my master's kindness. Having been reborn, I will no longer foolishly give myself away. In the eyes of my master and senior brothers, I was never their disciple or junior sister. Now, all I need to do is return to my rightful place and stop yearning for what was never mine. On the day I left the ice cave, I encountered an unexpected visitor. Dingwei was crouching outside my small hut, waiting bitterly for my return. The moment he saw me, he limped toward me. He looked at me with a worried expression, his eyes full of concern. I've finally been waiting for you. The ice cave is so cold. Has suffered. His intimate attitude and overly concerned behavior made me feel sick to my stomach. I stared at him coldly. Who are you? How dare you call me You, a lowly shape-shifting spirit. What are you doing outside my hut? You're dirtying my place, get lost. Dingwei looked at me with a hurt expression, as if I were a heartless woman. If this movement were performed by a beauty, it would surely evoke affection and pity. But his rough face bore the marks of Dai, covered in numerous scratches, no different from a vengeful ghost. One more glance at him, and I felt nothing but disgust. How could you do this to me? Before Dingwei could finish speaking, a gust of fierce wind struck his back. Spiritual energy coiled around the long whip, sending him flying, and his back was instantly torn open. Even on the verge of death, Dingwei kept calling out. I just don't know who the he's calling out to really is. You ungrateful mutt. Eating my food and drinking my drink, yet you come running to mess around with her. Dai will never let anyone touch even a fraction of what's mine. I'll take care of you, you wretched cur. Right now, this is nothing. The pain Dingwei has suffered is not even 1,000th of what I endured in my past life. His debts are not yet paid off. He cannot die yet. Feigning concern, I looked at the severely injured Dingwei, quickened my steps to block in front of him, and gazed at Dai with a disapproving expression. Sister, he only said a few words to me. Why are you so furious? Since you dislike him so much, Why not just give him to me? Wouldn't that make everyone happy? Yun Yeni, you crawled out of a pile of beggars, and you dare to take what's mine. Even if I kill him, I won't give him to you. Du Diei, I have never offended you, yet you relentlessly harass me time and again. So today, let us fight to the death, no mercy, no end until one of us falls. Although I wanted Ding Wei to experience more of Du Diei's special affection for him, I had no desire to be insulted. I have never been able to understand why Du Diei clings to me so stubbornly. When geniuses with high talent in the sect are as numerous as fish crossing a river, now I finally understand. Du Diei came from a prestigious family, yet her talent fell short of mine. A helpless little beggar, leaving her feeling unbalanced. The more outstanding I became, the more twisted she grew. She resented my high talent and opposed me at every turn, completely forgetting that no matter how gifted I was merely a tool for my master. No matter how high my cultivation, all the resources I obtained were delivered straight to her. She cannot see what I have lost, only what I possess. But I owe her nothing. On the contrary, she owes me a great deal. As soon as Du Diei heard about the life and death battle, her expression immediately changed. Yun Yeni, you would actually resort to a life and death battle with me over a low-level transformed spirit creature. Then I'm even less likely to give him to you. During the days you were being punished, this shape-shifting spirit has been bustling about, trying to win my favor. Though a bit foolish, it makes up for it with clever ideas. Du Diei completely avoided mentioning the life or death battle, every word revolving around Ding Wei, trying to provoke me in this way. I understood exactly what Du Diei's behavior signified. She didn't care about Ding Wei. What she enjoyed was the process of me being unable to compete with her. To make sure they're locked in forever, I'll have to say a few insincere words, so they can never be separated for all eternity. Senior sister, even though he's a transformed spirit, he's still alive. Since you don't like him, why force him to stay? Give him to me. Let him be my contracted spirit. I'll take him far away and keep him out of your sight. Just letting Du Diei torment him wouldn't satisfy me. I want him to never escape the identity he despises most, that of a spirit. In my previous life, after taking him as my disciple, I went out of my way to find a method to transform him from a rough, ugly creature into a handsome human form. He clearly loathed his identity as a spirit beast, yet he resented me for taking matters into my own hands, causing him to lose the chance to become Du Diei's contracted spirit beast and forever robbing him of the excuse to stay by her side. This time, I will create that opportunity for him. Yun Yeni. Contracting a spirit beast requires its willing consent. He won't agree to you. I didn't respond to Du Diei, and softly asked Ding Wei, would you be willing to become my contracted spirit? Ding Wei flatly refused me. I am not willing. My master will only ever be I. Ignoring the wounds on his back, Ding Wei crawled to Du Diei's feet, gazing at her with infatuation as he expressed his admiration for her. Du Diei, who always loses to me, savors the process of winning against me the most. Ding Wei flattered her to the point of comfort, and she directly formed a contract with Ding Wei right in front of me. After watching them complete the contract, I noticed that Du Diei had no aura around her at all, while Ding Wei was enveloped in a crimson glow. I then understood that they had signed a unilateral death slave contract. Now, Du Diei essentially has an extra life. When she receives a fatal attack, Ding Wei will first bear all the damage. Yet if Ding Wei is injured, she remains completely unaffected. In this life, Ding Wei has finally gotten his wish. In my previous life, I was set up by Du Diei and ended up entangled with that ungrateful wretch Ding Wei. This lowly relationship of ours, which caused quite a stir, originally had a perfect solution: Ding Wei becoming my contracted spirit. Once the contract was formed, the original master-disciple relationship would cease to exist. But he was fixated on Du Diei and refused to yield. My unequal relationship became the talk of the town. In the cultivation world, strength is paramount. But the righteous sect still valued some sense of propriety and honor. At that time, my strength hadn't yet reached a level where others could overlook my moral shortcomings. This scandal ultimately ended with my master expelling me and sending me to the most despised spirit beast garden in the outer sect. I had little cultivation resources to begin with. And after this incident, I lost them entirely. Cultivation is inherently an act of defying the heavens. While talent is certainly important, the resources required are equally indispensable. Without the aid of resources, I could only rely on arduous training. Under such circumstances, I advanced step by step until the day of ascension. Only I truly know how much suffering I endured along the way. I do not expect Ding Wei to empathize with my hardships. I saved him and helped him, never asking for anything in return, but instead of being grateful, he came to resent me for it. He tampered with my ascension formation, causing my ascension to fail, and while I was injured, he destroyed my immortal bones. Even after I became a cripple, he still didn't let me go. He destroyed the sect's grand formation, lured demon cultivators to massacre my fellow disciples, and even threw me to them for torture. After my death, he left my corpse exposed at the sect's gate, so I couldn't rest in peace even in death. Now, that pair of infatuated lovers will never be separated. Ding Wei's obedience to Du Die greatly satisfied her. She looked at me with a triumphant expression. Yun Yanni, no matter how capable you are, you're still nothing but an unwanted beggar. No one will ever like you. In her past life, she had said something similar. Only that time, she was fighting for the attention of her master and senior brothers. As an orphan with no one to rely on, my experiences in the first 10 years trapped me in a vicious cycle of craving love. After being brought to the sect by my master, I desperately tried to prove my worth, just to earn a shred of his pitiful affection. But the more those starved for love try, the more they remain starved. My efforts turned me into a convenient tool in their eyes, rather than a disciple or junior sister, as all their favor was lavished on Du Die. Back then, I was jealous of Du Die, who was doted on and pampered by my master and senior brothers, but I never thought of harming her. Instead, it was she who kept causing me trouble. She already had so much, yet she wanted even more. She resents my high talent and envies my advanced cultivation. Jealousy turned into hatred, and she developed a demonic obsession. She fell into the demonic path. Even after she fell, her master did not abandon her. He followed her out of the sect, became a demonic cultivator alongside her, while her senior brothers transferred to other sects. I was once puzzled, but later learned from the sect leader that Du Die was actually the daughter of her master's first love. My master's first love was his childhood sweetheart. He missed his chance with her, so he poured all his regrets into caring for his old friend's daughter. In that moment, I let go. From the very beginning, all I wanted was to survive. Later, I lost my way, wanting too much, and that was what brought me unnecessary trouble. With a clear mind, my cultivation advanced even further. After I finally made peace with myself, I was supposed to have a brighter future. In the end, Ding Wei ruined everything. In this life, I will fulfill Ding Wei's wishes and lock him together with the one he loves. I just wonder if he will like this one-sided slave contract that only bears pain. You bastard. Tell her. Don't you hate her? Du Die gave Ding Wei, who was kneeling at her feet, a kick to the chest. The latter let out a muffled groan, spat out a mouthful of blood, and instead of being hurt by Du Die's actions, showed a resolute expression. In life, I am yours. A.E. In death, I am your ghost. To me, everyone else is just fleeting clouds in the sky. Even a second glance feels like a waste of time. This depth of devotion is truly moving, and I'm curious how long it can last. Master's schemes were also known to my senior brothers. Through my subtle probing, I came to understand clearly that they were guarding the same secret. The resources I fought so hard to obtain did not all end up in Du Die's pockets. The two senior brothers also got their share of the benefits. No wonder they favored Du Die. I suffered while they enjoyed the good life, so naturally they would support Du Die. Enemies 3. I originally only wanted Du Die and Ding Wei to reap what they had sown, but now I need to revise my plan. In my past life, I died in a daze, without even knowing how many enemies I had. Living a second life. I no longer have to be a confused ghost. So naturally I won't let them off. Let's start with Qian Yi. In the previous life, if it hadn't been for his help, Ding Wei would not have succeeded. These two low-level shape-shifting spirits are nothing but ungrateful wolves. Those not of my own kind are sure to have different hearts. They should have died long ago. I was the one who saved them. So now it is only right that I be the one to finish them off. Fox spirits are skilled at seducing humans, but Qian Yi, a fox spirit who had taken human form, was one who knew nothing of charm arts. He was ostracized by the entire fox clan because, despite his pure bloodline, he was a complete failure at cultivation. If I hadn't saved him, he would have long been devoured, bones and blood, by the impure-blooded fox spirits scattered outside. Now it seems that my misplaced kindness has led me to a miserable end. In this new life, I have seen his true colors. And now he must face the fate he deserves. I did not produce the spiritual herb that Du Die needed, but I knew the spirit guarding that herb. It was a fox spirit of impure bloodline. That fox spirit had achieved great fortune through that spiritual herb, which was how it attained such cultivation. Back then, in order to seize the spiritual herb, I took a claw strike from it. If not for my luck, I would have died at its hands long ago. Compared to the spirit herbs, Qian Yi's pure bloodline was far more enticing to the malicious fox spirit. I sought out Du Die once again. Senior sister, Master has sent me to gather spirit herbs again. Yun Yanyi, Master only gave you 2 months. How much longer are you going to dawdle? My repeated procrastination made Du Die very dissatisfied. Senior sister, it's not that I don't want to go, but I'm still missing one thing. This time, I came to ask you for something. Du Die looked at me warily. Yun Yanyi, how dare you plot against me? I'm going to tell Master. Senior sister, what I seek is nothing more than the least important thing you possess. Senior sister, that little fox boy you took from me earlier is very useful for me to retrieve the spiritual herbs. After hearing what he sought, Du Die breathed a sigh of relief. A stinky fox spirit. If you want it, I'll give it to you. Du Die, in her magnanimous manner, completely forgot that Qian Yi was originally taken from me. When I saw Qian Yi, I was startled by his condition. Ever since Ding Wei formed a death-slave contract with Du Die, Ding Wei's status had risen sharply. Ding, unaware of Du Die's preferences, catered to her tastes and tormented Qian Yi in new ways every day. When I came to take Qian Yi away, there were still 300 steel needles stuck in his body. Upon seeing me, Qian Yi mustered all his strength to beg for my help. Save me. Please save me. I know I was wrong. They're all crazy. And you're right. He doesn't know he was wrong, knows he's scared. But I will never be soft-hearted again. I didn't remove the steel needles from him. I only fed him a low-grade pill to keep him alive and protect his heart meridian. I traded money for 4 spirit herbs. Only after I dead the money over to that mixed-blood fox spirit did he finally believe that I truly wouldn't look after him anymore. He cursed me with venomous words. Yun Yanyi, no wonder your master and senior brothers don't like you. A vicious woman like you will never be loved by anyone in your life. I'll be waiting for you in hell. Sooner or later, they'll send you down. Yun Yanyi, I curse you to die a miserable death. But those curses meant nothing to me. They were nothing more than the impotent rage of a powerless man. After obtaining the spirit herb, I did not leave the secret realm. In the secret realm, external surveillance can be blocked. So if I want to tamper with the spiritual herbs, I can only do it now. In my past life, I was kicked to the outer sect to guard the spirit beast garden. With no resources, I had to find herbs and refine pills on my own. On the path to success, I failed countless times. I wouldn't dare claim to be the best in the world at alchemy, but when it comes to making poisons, I am absolutely a master. Don't they love using the resources I, as their tool, brought back? Then I will make them reap what they sow. I soaked the spiritual herbs in a homemade poison, allowing them to fully absorb it. Due to the unique nature of these spiritual herbs, no matter what they absorb from the outside, it cannot be detected. On the contrary, The more impurities they contain, the better their quality appears. I knew their true faces, but they had no idea that I was fully aware of the truth. And since I had always been obedient, they naturally had no reason to be wary of me. I took the spiritual herbs to see my master, who hypocritically praised me a few times. That day, I spoke a bit too harshly. As they say, love deep, scold deep. You should understand my good intentions. A slap. Then a sweet date. It's a tactic the master often uses. I never realized before that even the sweet dates master gave were just empty rewards. I should have thought of that earlier, before the side effects of the spiritual herbs even showed. Du started abusing Ding Wei again. Without Qian Yi as a shield, Ding Wei became her new source of entertainment. Ding Wei's face, just healed, was scarred anew. This time, Du chose the incurable creeping vine to brand Ding Wei with a mark. Yet, after being disfigured, Ding Wei became Du's cherished treasure. She often brought Ding Wei before me, flaunting their intimacy. Ding Wei, who is the person you love the most? It's you, i.e. Which i.e. If you don't make it clear, what if others misunderstand? The person I love the most is my master. Ding Wei, with his scarred and ugly face, planted a kiss on the corner of Du's lips. I could see the disgust in Du's eyes. Yet she still had to play along with Ding Wei's act for my sake. What are they up to? After they had been putting on the sickening display in front of me for 7 days without any reaction, Du finally came to me. Yun Yanyi, you like Ding Wei, don't you? You can also tell that he loves me deeply. She paused for a moment, and seeing that I still had no reaction, she continued to provoke me in her own way. You certainly wouldn't want him to continue suffering with me, especially since I treated him so poorly before. As long as you give me your heart's blood, I will let him go. The side effects of the spiritual herb left my master unable to care for himself, and Du's body deteriorated. Her act with Ding Wei was all for my heart's blood. But where did she get the confidence that I, a cultivator, would be willing to exchange my heart's blood for Ding Wei's freedom? In this life, my few acts of defending Ding Wei appeared to be speaking up for him. But in the end, every time I spoke for him, he ended up being punished even more severely. Anyone with a bit of sense can clearly see my intentions. But Du doesn't understand and still wants to negotiate with me using Ding Wei. No deal. My reaction was not what Du wanted. If you don't switch, I'll kill Ding Wei right now. Then go ahead and do it. Ding Wei, who had been hiding in the shadows all along, stormed out furiously upon hearing this answer. He stared at me with the look of a man scorned by a heartless woman. I.e., how could you do this to me? You've changed. You weren't like this before. Is my life not worth even a few drops of your heart's blood? Seeing Ding Wei's self-righteous demeanor, I immediately understood everything that had happened before. Ding Wei indeed also reincarnated. But his mind wasn't working well. Actually thought I was deeply in love with him. He put on a show with Du, trying to trade for my heart's blood. What a pipe dream. What was I like before? I'm not even close to you. Your own master doesn't care whether you live or die. So why should I, an outsider, bother? I didn't give them a chance to continue pestering me and left directly on my sword. Without my heart's blood to sustain her life, Du couldn't even hold on until the day she fell into demonhood. Having failed to get what Du wanted from me, she vented all her anger on Ding Wei. After torturing Ding Wei into a cripple, she too fell ill. As soon as she fell ill, my master set aside his own condition and immediately summoned me, intending to take the blood from my heart. And as the master's good disciple, how could I resist? Naturally, I gave it. Since my master didn't take me seriously and allowed me to extract the blood myself, I certainly wouldn't give him the blood from my heart. Instead, I gave him the animal blood I had prepared long ago. The beast's blood did not ease Du's condition. Instead, it made her suffer even more. The master angrily questioned me. What have you done? Since senior sister is in so much pain, I naturally had to help her along. Wicked disciple, you deserve to die. My master attacked me, But the moment he tried to channel his inner energy, he began coughing up blood. That spiritual herb is tainted. Master, have you never considered that I might turn against you? You've always been so high and mighty, never once deigning to regard an insignificant ant like me. But in the end, you will all die at the hands of this tool you so despised. My words made the master start spitting blood again. If it weren't for me saving you back then, you would have died long ago. I saved your life and brought you back to the sect to carefully teach you. And this is how you repay me. I let out a sneer. You've been deceiving me for all these years. I suppose you've long forgotten that everything I've endured is because of you. Why did I become a beggar? It's all because your beloved's daughter was born with a fate that brings calamity, destined to die young. To keep her alive, you set your sights on my fate early on, stole me away, and threw me into a den of beggars, to make me willingly give up my fate to her. You made me suffer endlessly, and when I was on the verge of death, you stepped in to save me and it all for this day. In her past life, Dudier gave birth to a heart demon and fell into demonhood. This is why I missed the truth. It was only by torturing 2 dying senior brothers that I learned the truth of what happened back then. Not only was the life-saving favor a lie, but all the suffering I endured was orchestrated by this so-called master. I originally had parents who loved me, but because of this venomous master, I suffered for 10 years. My parents, while searching for me, met with accidents and died young. My master has no kindness toward me at all, only a blood feud. Master, Zhou Yinyu, today is your day of death, but you will die after Du Diei. Don't hurt Diei. It's all my fault. She knows nothing. Ding Wei blocked Du Diei's path. You can't kill her. With the death slave contract in place, if she dies, I'll die too. If you help me become handsome, I'll dissolve the contract with her, and I'll be able to live. From now on, I'll do whatever you say. I won't let you down again, even now. He is still daydreaming. Ding Wei, whether in the past life or this one, I have never loved you. I treated you well only because I am a good person with compassion, not because of some damn love. My mind is solely focused on ascending to immortality. I simply never developed the capacity for love. I directly struck Du Diei in the heart with my life-bound sword. The bloody hole caused by the first sword was instantly healed by the death slave contract. Before Ding Wei could even let out a cry, he was dead. With the second sword, I not only killed Du Diei but also enraged my venomous master, Zhou Yinyu, to death. Fearing any unforeseen changes, I deliberately used corpse-dissolving liquid to completely dissolve their bodies. The great revenge has been exacted, and I can finally focus on my cultivation in peace. Do not dwell on past regrets and hatred. Look forward, for true hope lies in the future, not the past. The story ends here. Thank you all for your company. See you in the next one.